Hey, ladies, welcome back to Her Nature, the podcast where we talk about living in alignment. And today I want to talk about something that is just like super hot right now, and that is living the soft life and being in your feminine. And everybody wants to be soft, find their softness. And we're all trying to figure out how to get there. But I think something that is a misconception about the soft life is that it will come to us and that we can manifest it. You can't sit at home and manifest a soft life. A soft life is created through vision and discipline and keeping your eyes on the prize in order to get there. And you can't even maintain it once you're there unless you develop the skills and the genuine love for the process. Let's talk about what a soft life is. A soft life is a life that feels peaceful. It makes us feel like a woman. It's aligned. Everything just feels right. It feels abundant, like opportunity is around the corner and that the world is our oyster. And it feels like we're kind of moving with the current instead of fighting against it. Nothing feels forced. And we're not in survival mode. We have a little bit of capacity for the challenges that come our way when we're living a soft life. I do think that the soft life is a prize that not everybody can get to. Everybody wants it, but it isn't the reality of most people. And that's because it takes a fuck ton of work to get there. And it never ends. It could be working really hard as a student, and then you graduate college, and then working really hard in your career. And then if you become a parent, it's working really hard as a parent, as a partner. Your kids grow up and now you're a grandparent, you have to work hard at that. You get a home, you have to maintain that home. That's a ton of work. Life is a huge compilation of different forms of work. It's not always sitting in the bath and maintaining your soft life every day. That would actually be boring if we didn't have the contrast of everything that it took to have nice, feminine, soft moments like that. It's the boring parts. It's showing up even when you don't feel like it. It is the routines every day over years that build something that is truly a dream for so many of us. And I believe that you can do both. You can be a hardworking woman with ambition and live a very soft, aligned life. Somebody who does this so well, and she is one of the icons that I look up to, is Martha Stewart. I fucking love her. If you look at photos of her or videos of her life over the years, it looks effortless. She's standing next to beautiful gardens and floral arrangements and cakes and styled venues and hosting in her home with beautiful tablescapes behind her. But as we all know, knowing Martha's story, that was not effortless. That's how it comes off, but she built that shit. She was a stockbroker. She was a OG feminist. She was a business owner before it was cool as a woman. She owned a catering business. She was a mom, and she built a $1 billion brand by having a really strong vision and working her ass off. The reason why Martha Stewart is so iconic and she did so well in the path that she chose is because she was truly following her passion. She was truly aligned in what she wanted to do and just sharing that incredible work, sharing the skills that she was already doing and that she was passionate about. She truly was the original influencer documenting her lifestyle, mastering skills, building consistency, and having a ton of discipline to be able to make her dreams come true. I love that Martha Stewart was a cutthroat leader. I watched her documentary, and people who had worked for her told their stories about If they folded napkins wrong or if they had a fuck up at work, Martha would just straight up fire them or tell them, no, you can't do it that way. You need to fix this. She was ruthless about being the best that she could be, and it built a brand that made her unforgettable. She was truly passionate about what she did and loved every piece of it. She lived a soft life in her garden, making her recipes, being able to enjoy the incredible parts of what she did. And even now, today, she's able to live both a boss bitch lifestyle of being a millionaire while also being somebody who is passionate about her alone time. She loves time in her garden. She loves to host. She loves to serve people, share the wonderful things that she makes with people. I think what we can take from Martha as an example is that just because something looks easy for someone does not mean that it is. You look at someone that you think, oh, they're so great at that, I could never do that. They put in the work to get there. It's always the unhealthy people saying, oh, it would be so much easier to work out if I had her body. If I was fit, it would be so much easier to go on runs or do CrossFit. And it's like, yeah, that fit person had to also put the work in to develop that muscle and become that size where now it is easy for them because it's their lifestyle. That fit person had to build up the discipline. They had to eat healthy. They had to nourish themselves, stay committed to working out. And now it is habitual. And it's no wonder that when people get a weight loss surgery, they gain the weight back because you're not enjoying the process. You're not falling in love with the boring parts. You just want the beautiful image in the end. And that's not how it works. I've built my own business where I can work from anywhere and work when I want and be with my son a lot of the time and not have to work 40 hours a week. And someone might look at that and say, oh, you're lucky. You got the luck of the draw. You have it easy. I have to go into corporate. But I had to build this. I spent the last 10 years when a lot of my friends were working at coffee shops and going to the club and hanging out, that I was working grown-up jobs and I was in rooms of people who were twice my age. I was the age of their kids and strategizing with them and building my career, learning the things that I wanted to bring into my own business and that I didn't want to. And it took a ton of fucking work. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. and drive in the dark for over an hour to arrive at my stupid corporate marketing job and sit in a cubicle for like 10 hours. And I hated it. But again, I did that work to build up the skills so that now my career feels aligned and it feels like a soft, exciting career for me. I think the difference between somebody who wants a soft life, which is all of us, versus somebody who actually creates it for themselves is the willingness to do that. Do the boring things, do the hard things for such a long amount of time and truly enjoy it and grind now so that you can relax into the fruits of your labor down the line. It's hard not to get hung up in comparisons with other people, especially being ambitious and being young, but budgeting is another good example of this. There's some people who are thinking ahead. They're planning for their retirement. They have that vision of the soft life and they're doing the work to create that flexibility and that lifestyle for themselves. And then there are people in the same age bracket that are in this comparison trap and they're living paycheck to paycheck. They're spending beyond their means and they're more focused on wearing designer and looking cool and looking like they're living the soft life, when in reality, 20, 30, 40 years from now, they're going to be the one that is stressed out and having to hustle. Building a soft life is enjoying the long game. It's truly eating up the journey and embodying it every day. And I think that it's harder when you hate what you do. Whatever your work looks like, whether it's studying or being a mom or being a partner or working a job or owning a business, when you hate it, it makes you hate the journey. When you love what you do and you're in alignment, it makes that vision of a soft life so much more attainable. And this is why people go back to school in their 30s or 40s or 50s, because they realize that in order to make their dreams happen, they have to actually live out the hard work now. And trying to do that long term when you hate what you do isn't sustainable. You're not going to be able to get there. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about working women and women who are ambitious. And we're told that work is anti-soft and that it's going to take us out of our feminine. But I think if you're doing meaningful work that you love, it is the opposite of that. It is soft. Pursuing your dreams, making your vision of a soft life a reality by doing what you love and following your heart, that is the most feminine aligned version of ourselves that we can be. Having belief in yourself, not giving up, and keeping your eyes on the prize and like pushing forward to that, despite the challenges that come, it is deep spiritual work. It builds you to be an incredible, full-hearted, passionate woman. And this is where you have to ask yourself, how does my work make me feel? What version of myself am I being in my work? Am I forcing myself to wake up in the morning and I hate my job and every day is so boring or overwhelming? Or is your work inspiring? You wake up in the morning excited to go do it. If you're a mom, you're excited to be with your kids. You love it. You want to go make memories with them. If you go into the office, it's like the best part of the day to get into your office outfit and march up in that bitch. We feel so empowered as women when we fully align with the work that we're doing and can create that for ourselves. I fear that it's become very trendy these days for women to say that they just want a man to come in and build them a soft life so that they can relax into their feminine. But the thing that we're not talking about is that you have to put in a ton of work to become that type of woman that that type of man is going to want. It takes discipline. It takes looking your best, feeling your best, doing the inner work to attract a strong man who's going to take care of you like that. Either way, it takes a ton of work to create a soft life, whether that's in yourself, whether that's for your family. The stay-at-home moms that I know are some of the hardest working women that I know. But creating that for yourself, even if that means attracting someone who can financially support you in that, takes continuous effort. Maintaining a soft life once you're there takes work ethic and passion to build that with somebody and to be able to keep it going for years and years. When I think of my dream soft life, I think about having a job that's creative and I don't have to report to anyone. I can work when I want. I think about having a big garden and kids running around and time in the day to prepare a nice meal for everyone, have people over and like truly have time to chat with them and using good ingredients, making healthy food, pouring a nice glass of wine. And if you think about it, that's a beautiful, soft visualization. The chickens poking around the backyard. But all of those things are a ton of work. Having kids running around is also the days where you're buckling them in and getting them ready for the day, getting them all loaded up in the car. Having chickens means you're out there, rain, snow, whatever weather, scooping shit and making sure that they have food and water and they're taken care of. Being able to create a bountiful garden, it takes the days where you don't feel like it out there watering your plants and trimming off the dead parts and going to the store, buying the healthy ingredients or growing the healthy ingredients. You can't just have all of those things without the maintenance, the relationships, and all of that takes a ton of work. So what I'm getting at here is that you cannot manifest a peaceful life just by sitting around and talking about it. You have to make the steps towards it. You have to build the habits and the discipline and the structure that can sustain it. Building a soft life looks totally different for everybody. We all have a different vision of what we want for our future, but I think we all can agree that we want to be living peacefully. And we don't create that for ourselves by sinking in our feminine and just reading books on the couch all day and manifesting that a prince will come along and build it for us. We're told that we can just dream up softness, but it paralyzes us in relaxation. And then we get upset that it's not coming to us because we're not the ones walking in that direction. And we need to. Maybe we need less waiting around and more alignment to build a life that is truly special. That's all for this episode. I just wanted to rant a little bit because I feel like we're in an era of receiving and, oh, the world owes me a soft life. I'm a beautiful woman. Everybody should just give to me. And I just have to sit here and manifest and it'll happen. And this is how people end up at 50 years old, single and alone and miserable and jealous of the hardworking, beautiful, empowered women who are finding love. They're finding their dream career. They're building their families. They're buying their dream cars. They're living in their dream homes. And it's the resentful older people who look at them with disdain because they see the girl that they never were able to be at that age. They never were willing to put the work in to create it for themselves. But we can feel empowered right now during this time between where we are and this soft life. It's a journey. And being able to find softness where you can within it is so incredibly powerful. And it's building that sustainability and those tools that you'll need to sustain it. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.